Now, we are awaiting an announcement that Vitor Pereira will be the new head coach of Wolves. He'll take over a side that are 19th in the Premier League with just 2 wins this season. Let's speak to our reporter Daniel Khan on this story. He joins us live right now. Afternoon to you, Daniel. So, is an announcement imminent?
Yeah, afternoon, David. I mean, we are expecting Vitor Pereira to be confirmed as the new Wolves boss, most likely by this evening. Now, we reported yesterday that every aspect of this deal really has been agreed. The compensation with his Saudi Pro League side, Shabab, that was agreed, just over £800,000 to release him from that contract. Personal terms were easy to sort as well, because we knew Vitor Pereira was very keen on a move to the Premier League to manage Wolves as well, and Wolves were very keen on making this deal work. So really what it looks like is that Wolves have acted swiftly and decisively after Gary O'Neill was sacked on Sunday morning. They've been able to act, as I mentioned, decisively in getting his replacement in, and really now we are just waiting for that final confirmation. I understand Pereira has been here at the training ground this afternoon, just finalising those final minute details before we get that announcement. But as I mentioned, it looks like Pereira will be continuing the long list, or short, impactful list, of Portuguese coaches at the helm here at Wolves after following the likes of Nuno Espirito Santo and Bruno Lage.
So what sort of football can we expect from a Vitor Pereira side then, Dan?
Yeah, well, David, in no disrespectful way to him, he's had quite a few sides in the last 11 years. He's had 10 different jobs. And in that first phase of his career, he did win many trophies. He won 2 successive Portuguese league titles. He won the league title in Greece and China as well. But he has also travelled the world in the likes of Brazil and other countries too. But I think one thing that you can see from his sides is he tends to solidify defensively those teams, and that is what Wolves need, because recently, throughout the season, they've conceded the most goals in the Premier League. You look at games recently like Everton losing 4-0, most of those goals coming from set pieces. We know they've conceded 16 goals from set pieces this season. You look at the Bournemouth game before that, they conceded 3 penalties in that game. And you can look at the lack of centre-backs at the moment. We know Yersin Mosquera, he's out for the rest of the season with an ACL injury. They weren't able to sign that extra centre-back in the summer, which they wanted to do. But I also think Pereira will be looking to really sort that midfield. He likes a 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1 formation. That's what he's been playing in Saudi Arabia. And I think that's what he'll be working here at Wolves, trying to fit in those players who are used to playing a similar formation. But I'd look at the midfield in front of him as well. Gary O'Neill, although, you know, he did perform really well last year, I think this season wasn't able to solve that midfield puzzle. The likes of Tommy Doyle, Mario Lemina, João Gomes, who Pereira knows from his time in Brazil. He coached him at Flamengo. Also the likes of Andre, the Brazilian international. We need to still figure out what that best midfield will look like. But very interestingly, Pereira did an interview in the summer talking about his philosophy, what he likes to do when he joins a club. And take a listen to this, because you'll get a good idea of his philosophy.
We don't have time in football. In our mind is to find a project that you have time to increase the level, to increase, but in the end are the results. And sometimes we cannot see behind the results, you understand? The clubs, they cannot see behind the results. Some clubs, they have the patience. They have people that understand about football, that understand about the work that the coach are doing, and they believe in the project, because they have a project. They have the intention to increase the level in 2 or 3 years. But football in this moment, the reality of football in this moment is the next game. You understand? If you win the next game, okay, you have a project. If you lose, maybe you are out. Is the football today? But for me, I don't think about the time. This is not a pressure for me. You understand? This is not extra pressure for me, because I believe if I go to a club, for sure, I will try to increase the level of the young players, because this is something that I love to do it.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to hear from Vitor Pereira there, David, just to get some insight also on how good his English is as well. That'll be really impactful when and if once this deal is confirmed, when we hear from him on a weekly basis in his news conferences. But looking forward, I mean, it's a really important month coming up for Wolves, this Christmas period. The following games for the next month in the Premier League are incredibly tough. First of all, they have Leicester on Sunday afternoon, but after that, they're playing most of the top 8, the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, who are going extremely well this season with their former manager, Nuno Espirito Santo. So you just think very key games for Vitor Pereira to make. Really, he'll need to make an immediate impact with also the January transfer window just around the corner. And I understand, as I've been reporting the last few weeks, Wolves will be looking to bolster this squad in the January window. They're aware that there's some shortcomings that they'll need to reinforce. You look at defence, as I mentioned a bit earlier, but we'll see what Pereira can do in the meantime to start picking up results, to start trying to get Wolves out of the relegation zone. But as I mentioned at the very start, still waiting final confirmation.
OK, yes, we wait with you. Thank you very much indeed, Dan.